Welcome to Vator Box. I'm Bambi Francisco.
And I'm Ezra Royden.
This week our guest host is Jeff Clavier. He is one of the top angel investors in Silicon Valley, so we're glad to have him as our guest host. We're going to take a look at Vidly. This is a young startup founded by Chris Vator, and Vidly wants to make it easy to post videos on Twitter. So let's take a look at his pitch.
Hi, this is Chris Vator from Vidly. We are the easiest and best way to share videos on Twitter. We make it really easy to upload videos from your mobile phone, your iPhone, your computer, your webcam to all your Twitter followers. It's really simple. Even the governor uses it.
A very short pitch.
That was a Twitter pitch, right? You realize that this was actually 140 characters.
Yeah, that's it. Very short pitch. I think they could do a little more to elaborate in the pitch part what exactly is the benefit. And I get it. I mean, I think that you can fill in a lot of gaps. But it would be nice to hear a little more about the value proposition, maybe what the governor is actually doing, and how often he posts.
Well, I mean, I think that what I like the problem setting up the problem, and just saying, why do you really need to do video Twitter, and why is that something that's even convenient?
Yeah. And what's interesting to us, obviously looking at it from the standpoint of the investor, is how many people are using it, what they have learned from this initial sort of wave of users that they have, as opposed to saying, hey, we do this, but maybe we do this for no one.
Yes.
Except the governor.
I'm now getting into it a little bit about the novelty, and that's next, right? I think they're clever to do. I think video is great. I think video comments are great. I think Seismic. What's happened to Seismic in terms of
They evolved.
Well,
Jeff is an investor.
You can't beat up Seismic then, but I think
but they bought Ping FM, and so now
but they're moving. Model. They've moved. So I think what's good about these guys is they're going to where the audience is, which is on Twitter, which is doing a parallel platform. That's good. Maybe.
Yeah. The issue I think is that there's really two things. One is, how do you capture video? And it's the mobile phone, it's the camera, it's uploading it on a service, and typically you use YouTube for that, right? And then you let your followers, your friends know about your new video, which is where Twitter comes into play. And the big issue I had, and for full disclosure, I actually met with Chris, and he came to pitch me, and I passed on investment because I was actually not convinced that it was interesting enough to have a separate service compared to this vast, like there's at least 10 companies I can think of which do exactly what Vidly was doing, and that was sort of my big issue.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. And so I think Twitter is a distribution platform. They can distribute anything. Uploading video is relatively commoditized, so you can connect YouTube to your Twitter. Probably not that difficult to do, or Vator do.
You can do it today.
If you upload to YouTube, you can easily just click some
So then the question
right to YouTube.
What layer are you adding on top? And it was actually interesting because I went on the site, and to their credit, what they were doing was neat. Was they were beginning to build sort of a content feel of the site. So I saw, I don't even know who she is, but Dania Ramirez.
Yeah,
I watched her video.
Yeah,
I never know who she was, but she seemed cute, and she talked about meeting Queen Latifah, and she seemed to have followers. And then Chameleonaire was up there doing something as well. And
how often is that going to attract you to get on?
Not very often, but it seemed like they were getting some engaging folks on there doing stuff. So I think if you can somehow get, I remember it really reminded me of, what was that site with the Jessica Alba staring competition?
Oh yeah.
I Beat You.
I Beat You.
So they had I don't know where they went, but they had an interesting idea of using video and getting competitions going and dialogue going. So I think I agree with you.
But in that case, you figure out what is the angle that you're going to try and serve, and what is the community. So as opposed to saying we're a broad platform and we're trying to serve everyone's type of usage, then we're going to focus on entertainment and have one very specific usage. And then you can actually draw people in.
Maybe if they do focus on entertainment, I think that's what they're going to have to do. Because I looked on the site, it almost looked like a little bit like YouTube back in 2006.
Right.
So sorry, but I'm sure they're doing a lot of other.
So they're going to be sold for like $600 million in 12 months. But so I think I agree with Jeff. I think the idea that you can win a utility battle is like impossible. You can't win a utility battle here. So you have to get a market. You have to get a market.
Well, they did something. I mean, they got 500,000. At least Ron Conway got in, so they convinced some people. And I'm wondering what is it that they saw in Vidly? Maybe it's something that they're going to morph into. So let's talk about what Seismic clearly morphed into something else.
Yep.
And I would have to say, we started as a place to pitch videos, and I'd say that 90% of our users are doing a lot more than just uploading videos. So it's hard to monetize video. let alone, video responses.
Yeah, it makes it feel better. It's really hard for us to monetize this video.
and it is authored content, right? That's the issue. Now, the challenge with video that
even
people
with
sort
Jeff
of
Clavier in the video.
Well, but he's going to monetize the video.
Of course. The issue is, video is this very sort of challenging medium where it's actually hard to attract dollars, but you spend a ton of money actually serving all those videos. And the problem is that every incremental user is an incremental cost.
Yeah.
And therefore, the beauty of Twitter as a model is that it costs almost nothing to serve an extra user, whereas in video case it's not the case. And we learned that at Sysmic.
Right. Yeah, and when you're adding folks and it costs you money, money to produce. You don't produce a lot of content,
right?
And because there's a pretty high threshold for folks to want to produce video,
right?
And then also just actually serving it. So going into where they go, I actually do like, and I'm keen on the whole idea of encapsulated markets around Twitter, products that leverage that distribution channel and people who curate Twitter traffic, and people who can get rid of the garbage and really put interesting Twitter stuff out there.
Sure.
I think there's all kinds of businesses there. So I think if these guys dive into that problem and figure out something, and maybe it's video, maybe it's not, maybe it's entertainment, maybe it's something more broad around serving a market through constantly updated user gen content, short form. There's businesses there. There's all kinds of businesses there.
Okay, so leveraging Twitter and making more of a specialty type of service on top of Twitter. So let's give Chris some advice here. That's advice
that's advice
moving forward. But so Jeff, let's say you were an investor in Vidly. What would you advise him to do over the next 12 months?
Maybe sort of work on his pitch a little bit, so that even the Twitter version is like a bit crispier. And I think figure out based on his initial usage how we can sort of build a set of features that really talk to his community, and how we can sort of look at not something which is too narrow, which was the issue of Sysmic originally, where video comments were great. We just had a too narrow community to engage actively, and that was a big issue. I sense that it might be sort of the issue that Vidly is going to run into. So look at the users, see how they can expand, and morph this into something which is more interesting. Because the one thing which was pretty cool is that technology and what they had built was cool, but cool isn't enough.
Okay, good. Well, hopefully, Chris, that was some good advice for you.
And good luck to you, Chris.
Yeah, good luck.
And good luck to you too. And Jeff, thank you.
My pleasure.
For your insight.
Thanks for having me.
Ezra, as always.
Sure.
You've been watching Vator Box. I'm Bambi Francisco. We'll see you next time on Vator News.